Alright, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for the bronze medal final between Argentina and Spain to close out this Sevens circuit in Singapore. It is a shortened comp, which means that this is only about the fourth match for these two sides, whereas normally if you are at this point, you would have been maybe 6 matches deep, ready to go into that deep water. But it's been a fatiguing type of competition. There have been many humid days, and these two sides ready to try and show what they can do in this final game. We see a lot of Kenyan supporters in the stands. Of course, they will be playing in the final up against Fiji in only about an hour and 10 minutes time. That is going to be a massive contest. But looking through at the starting lineups for these two sides, first of all, the champions, Argentina. It will be Santiago Mari, Luciano Gonzalez, Matteo Graziano, Germain Schultz, Marcos Maneta, Joaquin Palandini, and Matthias Azurzuk. I've just said there that Argentina have beaten Spain 18 times in a row. So you would think that one of these sides, you'd think they'd have a pretty good shot of being able to win this game. But Spain, they have been the underdog of the Sevens circuit. They have put together some brilliant wins and currently sit in second place. But it is Francisco Coscuela who got himself a yellow card in the last contest. Juan Ramos, Manu Moreno, Paul Pla, Perez, Ceres, and also Jamie Manteca in the side as well. Do, of course, let me know your predictions for this contest. The next game that we are doing will be the women's gold medal final between Australia and New Zealand. And then, of course, following that one, we will get to see the big underdog story of Kenya going head-to-head with the Flying Fijians, a rematch of 2016's final, in which Kenya did get the victory. But running out onto the field here, Ramos and the Argentinians on the other side from him. He's been a standout throughout the last few legs, really putting in those physical hits, and that is something that's come a long way for the Spanish. They've managed to win both of their group stage fixtures. They lost to Kenya in their last contest, 12 points to 5, and they would have been pretty disappointed. They never really got into that game, definitely not in the first half, and then almost a late comeback on the cards until they did lose possession. For the Argentines, they lost up against South Africa in their opening contest. They won up against Great Britain, but then they did lose in their semi-final up against the Flying Fijians. Hello everyone, Hamish Pumas have to pull together now, says Roof. And I will mention, normally when these two sides play, at least in a situation where it isn't a final, it does seem to be that Argentina just blow them out of the water. There has been a couple times where it's been close. Last time that they played, it was 7-0 in favour of the Argentines, but the Spanish want to prove something here. And hi, Hamish, hello from Northern Ireland. I love your commentaries. You're doing a great job. Thanks, says Sean. Thank you very much. It is greatly appreciated you being here. And, of course, we are going to be covering the main league of the Sevens, the Champions League, that has taken place in a month's time with a whole heap of other streams up until then, but kicked off by the Argentines. Hasn't quite travelled to 10, although, in fact, it's bounced over, which does mean Argentina can play the ball. And that is exactly what they have done. They've got the early possession. Matthias Azurzuk, tackle well by Coscuela. 22 metres out from the line here for Argentina. Graziano has Marcos Maneta. Of course, he is in a race at the moment with Georgi Nasova for who can get to those 25 tries first. Fiji and Kenya, well, who would have guessed? Yeah, that's the one beauty of a shortened competition, is you get the opportunity to see underdogs. Now, in Cape Town with the shortened comp, South Africa were able to win it. That is a big shot coming in on Paul Pla by Germain Schultz, who was running with the ball in hand. Now another piercing run from Santiago Mari. Can't quite get through the gap. And exciting stuff, thanks, Kiwi Lads. Says Daniel Maneta tries to go on the outside, but puts a little bit too much power on the pass. Goes over the head of his winger. A score prediction. The safe bet, as you could call it, is Argentina here. But honestly, I want Spain to be within 10 would be quite nice to see. It's just going to be a very tough ask. This Argentine side, after losing their semi-final, they'll be frustrated. They'll want to go out here and prove that they should have been there. Who is the best Sevens team at the moment? I think that it has to go to Argentina. Yes, they aren't in the finals for this league, but they were on a 16-match winning streak not too long ago. They've secured the first spot, and they are champions for this year. And they've just been a really all-round side for this season of the Sevens. So thoroughly deserved their top spot. Tell you what, Luciano Gonzalez has lined up Jamie Manteca from a long way back there, but Argentina have forced the error from Spain, and now it brings the line out for them just inside of the 22-metre line. Palandini ready to throw it in, and that's going to be well stolen by Spain, although taken straight back by Matthias Azutsuk. Lost ball from Palandini, goes backwards, Juan Ramos kicks it forward, and now Spain have got possession on the halfway line. Passed out wide, if it's gone backwards, it's going to be a great one. Paul Pla, tackle low by Luciano Gonzalez, some scramble defence from Los Pumas and some rush defence there from Herman Schultz, but he misses the tackle. Atsutsuk gets the ankle tap, has to get back to his feet there. Really awkward try. Coscuela trying to almost swim towards the try line. They mentioned there was heavy rain in Singapore. Not quite that much though. And then passes it off to the youngster Perez, who scores the try. But Coscuela almost went through. Ankle tap from Atsutsuk. Did enough to slow him down. He kept trying to get back to his feet. It was kind of like when you have those dreams that turn into a nightmare. You're trying to outrun something, but it always keeps on catching you. Coscuela was running from the Pumas' defence and couldn't get back up, and in the end it almost cost them the try, but they do score it anyway for the Spanish. Los Pumas are on form, says Danielle. And Argentinian pride and jeopardy. They have to show their power, and who's your Fijian hero later? Fiji to win the final, but Kenya will be a solid opposition. I really hope it's a good game. Like I mentioned about it, another loose ball Argentina haven't been able to clean up, and Polpla kicks it forward, scores the try. Spain are up by 2 now. This is actually an insane start for the Spanish. Definitely after I mentioned not too long ago about an 18-match winning streak for the Argentines. But if we've learned anything about this leg of the Sevens, it has been unpredictable. It kicked out of the hands of Herman Schultz. And Paul Pla does he control it? He might have dropped that a little bit, but they're saying he had enough pressure coming down on the ball to be able to warrant the try. And the kick has gone over too. They are ranked 3rd at the moment for the Spanish. Now, at this current point in time, I believe that they won't be able to catch the Fijians, but still finishing 3rd on the circuit is absolutely sensational from the Spanish nation that a long time ago weren't given a lot of credit at all. I remember last year they beat New Zealand and everyone considered it as a massive upset. This year, they've just made it a regular occurrence to beat the Kiwis as well as a few other top sides on the circuit. Another line out for the Argentines, who find themselves in a little bit of uncharted territory, being down 14-0 up against Spain, but they have got plenty of comebacks in them. Once they get the ball into Marcos Moneta's hand, it can be all sorts of danger for the opposition, but they've lost their own line out. Going back across to this left-hand side here for Spain, bit of a bounce pass. Well handled by Joseph Ceres. Ducking under that one was Jamie Manteca, avoiding the tackle attempt of Santiago Mari. Thanks, Hamish. Got a run, work calling. Have a great day, Pierce. Great result for the lads from Munster. Massive result. Beating La Rochelle in France is no easy task at all. And yeah, it seemed like Munster really dug deep. So massive win for them. That ball's not coming out of the rolling maul. So it will become the scrum now for the Pumas. 90 seconds remaining in this first half. Yeah, just getting a nice positioning from Palandini. And I mean, Herman Schultz, he was never going to put him down. He pretty much held him like he was a child and just wouldn't let him get their hands or the legs down on the turf. Regardless of the result, this will be Spain's best finish in Singapore, they've just put. And also, this will be Spain's best finish in general. In terms of the overall standings, Munster Monsters beat La Rochelle, says Ruth. Now ready to throw this ball, or at least feed the ball, into the scrum. Throwing might be a bit aggressive. The hooker might miss if you whip it in too quick. It's an interesting sentence. But now Manteca, waiting for this one on the short side. Here comes Marcos Moneta, who gets round the defence. There we go. Marcos Moneta, first touch of the day, and he scores the try pretty much straight away. Good Lord, imagine Spain beat Pumas for the bronze. It would be absolutely huge for them. Imagine if Spain got the bronze and Kenya got the gold. That would be incredible for the underdogs of the weekend. A nice run forward from Marcos Moneta. Just manages to get away from the defence. No matter how quick you think you're running after him, he seems to always create a bit more of a gap. There are only a few players on the Sevens circuit who actually have the pace to be able to chase him down. Well retained by Argentina off their kickoff. They can score again here. They could go into halftime 14-14, which I think they would definitely back themselves to be able to win in that scenario. Now back across to the left-hand side, out to Romain Schultz, inside ball to Luciano Gonzalez. Trying to break through Coscuela's tackle attempt. Palandini goes back across to the right. Here comes Marcos Moneta, lined up this time by Juan Ramos. And what a great competition. Everyone is in it. If they play well, says Ruth. Yeah, I guess if we had to think about who would be the most disappointed for this leg, of course, it's very easy to say France because they finished dead last. But I think Australia, they'll be a bit gutted after the result that they had last week. A couple of the other teams maybe not quite finding their stride. You could even argue that Argentina would be a tad disappointed with where they are, but beautiful offload to close out the half with another try for the Argentines. And the try is for Tobias Wade, the number 7 in this contest. The kick to come that could give us a drawn game at the halfway point. But Blitzbox very disappointed. That is true, although at the same time, because of who was in their group, right? Because Argentina were in there and they were working their way towards becoming champions, the chance of the Blitzbox finishing any higher than 5th to 8th was going to be a bit of a struggle. I think that they were maybe a little bit lower, but then they still finished the same rank as they did the week prior in Hong Kong. So it's a tricky one for South Africa. They definitely, as a whole, have been a bit more disappointing. What a brilliant kick that is from Argentina. And that'll make the score now 14 points to 14 going into the second half. The bronze is on the line. Argentina, they would have loved to close out the year with a gold medal. They do still have the chance to get it next week. I would think so. Robert, they expected better, says Danielle. Yeah, it's a tough one for the Blitzbox. Then they came out up against Australia and played like everyone's been waiting to see them play for the past about 6 games. Ambok have moments of brain farts. Pure genius, so up and down. Says Ruth. Second half, we will get to see a few more changes being made. Only 2 more matches remaining for the Sevens for this weekend, ladies and gents. Australia versus New Zealand in the women's final. And then alongside that, we are going to get to see the men's final between Kenya and Fiji, which is an absolutely massive game. How we have got there, bro. You're the best. Thank you very much, Tomu. Greatly appreciated you being here. Of course, like I said, we've got the final just around the corner. Fijians looking to get themselves right up there and win that gold for the final weekend. And Puma's coming back biting again. Says Roof, and I don't know what is going on with the Blitzbox lately. I think the biggest problem they've had is some of those experienced heads aren't performing the way you'd expect. I mentioned about it how Selvin Davids, throughout this weekend, if you watch the 3 games that the Blitzbox have played, with the exception, like excluding the game up against the Australians, because he actually did very well there, but defensively, Selvin Davids, I don't think I've ever seen him miss so many one-on-one tackles. And a majority of them led to tries for the opposition. And then you've got a guy like Ricardo James Duarte, who's normally lethal in the breakdown, getting penalised extremely often. And it just kind of takes away any chance for South Africa to be able to find some sort of rhythm. Because they are a brilliant side when they get back-to-back tries or when they keep the control of possession. But with penalties and missed opportunities, yeah, they have just had a little bit of a struggle. Kicked off by Spain, though, for the second half. It's going to be knocked on. Or at least I thought it was. Looks like the ref is going to say play on as the ball is bounced into the hands of Argentina. Luciano Gonzalez. He breaks through. He's very hard to catch. He's got plenty of pace and he's teasing the opposition. But the Spanish with Manu Moreno able to make a last-ditch tackle. Romain Schultz goes for the little chip pass, and that is a beautiful try out wide for Graziano. And that is exactly the start that they would have liked the second half. Puma's coming back, biting again. Says Ruth. And rugby is like cricket. You're either out or you're in. Bowled over or hit 6s. Says Ruth. And how was your cricket awards? It was good overall. Really rainy day, so we didn't actually get to have any sort of cricket game in the morning like they were going to. But, yeah, overall, decent enough day. Gonzalez made this try, says Roof. Yeah, Gonzalez is an absolute tank. You know, the fact that he just runs straight. And I've always wondered whether or not, he's great in the sevens, but could he find somewhere in the union side of things? I think he has been in the squad before for one of the Argentine sides, but I'd say there'll be plenty of teams looking at him wanting to get his power in. I don't even know what position he would play. Like, probably stick him in the flanker role and he would do pretty well. Now getting ready to kick this one off again here for the Argentines. They are now 21 points to 14 ahead. Nicely taken by Juan Ramos, about 30 metres out from the Spanish line. Gonzalez says Danielle there. Now across to this left-hand side, Trevor Thick. So down well. And there's going to be another penalty going the way of the Argentines. The momentum has been completely shifted from this game now. And I would say if Spain are not careful, we could see a little bit of a runaway here for Argentina if they can continue attacking. They've decided to opt for the scrum. It's on the far side of the field, and I believe Luciano Gonzalez and Marcos Mineta are the two men on the near side of the field, which does mean if they can get it anywhere near the wings, they're probably going to score. Even with the Spanish defence in the way, one of those two will probably just offload it to the other. So we'll see whether or not it works out for them. Ball about to be fed in. Santiago Gomez Corra watching on again. Was in tears yesterday after it was confirmed that Argentina had won the Sevens title. Good defence there from Coscuela. That stopped any chance of the ball shifting out wide. Matthias Arzutsuk. He's going to be driven backwards by Juan Ramos, who once again showed off his power in this one. Luciano Gonzalez with the pick and go. 3-man tackle from Spain, which does mean there will be a gap somewhere. Matthias Arzutsuk, another big shot from Ramos and the knock on, but the penalty, in fact, does go the way of Argentina. Spanish are now shell-shocked, says Ruth. Yeah, it was a brilliant first half from Spain, although conceding that try very late, I think would have hurt them quite a bit. They would have loved to be able to get through it without any sort of late try being scored like that one. They're just showing the power of Juan Ramos, although that time he did take a little bit longer to roll away, which is why the penalty was awarded. Argentina again are going to go for the scrum option. This is going to be a big test for the Spanish defence. Still 4 minutes remaining. And vamos Los Pumas. Amish, give us your man of the tournament, please. Oh, see, man of the tournament, certain sides, I think, have had different type of players. Like for Fiji, we've seen some brilliant work almost, like, honestly, across the board. I think Sevan Mothanothangi's been outstanding. They've also got a few other guys for that Fijian side. Georgie Nasova, he's always going to score you a few tries. Mineta's been sensational again. Gonzalez breaks through. He's been pretty strong. And that will be another try for him, moving up to now 26 points to 14. I love the way Amish rolls his ass. Says Danielle, and Ramos pure beef, delish, says Ruth. Those are your words, of course, not mine. But Gonzalez breaking through Ramos's tackle attempt. And then just gets over there. As soon as he gets his speed, you can't slow him down. Now the kick from Palandini has gone over as well. So that will make the score 28 points to 14 at the moment in the overall series tries. Georgie Nasova's on 24. Marcos Mineta's on 23. Patrick Odongo-Okongo, he is on 20. So there's still the final around the corner. Georgie Nasova, if Mineta scores again, will need that extra try to be the lone leading try scorer of the series. But then, of course, next week, I believe, maybe they still go towards it. It's going to be kicked off. Oh, leaping up there was Matthias Arzutsuk. Wasn't able to claim it, although he did get a little partial knock on. So it means that Spain have got themselves the ball. They've gone back for the scrum, although this time it's actually against the Spanish. Jamie Manteca knocking it on only maybe about 10 metres out from their own line. This is now a dangerous position on the field here. And once again, the Argentines are going to try and show exactly what they can do on attack. They've got options both ways. They've got Elizalde on this top side of the field. I do see, I believe that's Tobias Wade down the bottom. Now ball about to be fed in. Great Amish, fantastic. Says Ruth. Now going off to the right-hand side. Having a little bit of a trip, actually falling over the back of his own scrum, and then it is knocked on. The penalty does go the way of Spain. 2 minutes remaining and they need 2 converted tries if they want to win this game. We've seen 4 handling errors from Argentina, so they have been far from perfect throughout this game, but they have taken their chances when they've had them, and that's why they've got those 4 tries on the board. A nice lead Spain half of the Pumas score, says Ruth. Only 90 seconds remaining. Of course, if Spain were to get those 2 converted tries, we would go to golden point. That one's going to be thrown in nicely. Going off to the right here for Spain. 40 metres out from their own line. So a little way to go before they get to that Argentinian line. But nice run forward from Joseph Ceres. Getting wrestled towards the sideline. Bit of a counter ruck coming from the Argentines. Making a hard work. Ball kick towards the touchline from Argentina. Partially held back was one of the Argentine players. But they have managed to shut it down and get that ball back. 55 seconds remaining. Going away to this right-hand side. It's going to be Graziano with a nice step. Gets his offload away. Argentina keeping this ball alive. Spain, the legs will certainly be getting tired now. Nice attack and run from Agustin Fraha. Still going forward. Oh, that's an ugly ankle tap attempt from Manu Moreno. You've got to be careful. He pretty much slapped him full force with his arm. That could have broken his arm, that is. Now we have got there, is it beat after the final? Probably, yeah. I was initially going to be doing the Sharks versus Leon game for the Challenge Cup, but then I have been told that Monday morning I am going to be working, so 4:30 a.m. for that stream was going to be a little bit tricky. So, Agustin Fraha happy with scoring that try. We just heard the full-time siren, but I believe we might still have time for one last play in this game. Argentina have managed to once again run away with it up against the Spanish. At 12:53 afternoon, Cape Town, says Ruth. Argentina already celebrating this one on the sideline. Graziano, Schultz, 2 men who have had fantastic games here. And kick has gone over, has it? No, must have missed, as it is 33 points to 14. And the Argentines got themselves to 3rd place. They've got themselves the title based off the points. But of course, in the next league, they'll have the opportunity to crown or be crowned as the champions of everything, which includes those playoff games next time as well. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, of course, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We will be back in about 10 minutes' time for the Australia versus New Zealand women's matchup. So be sure to check that out. I will see you all for... And also, before I leave, of course, Kenya versus Fiji, the men's final, taking place after that. So be sure to check that out as well. But thank you all very much for being here, and I will see you all for the next one.